All right, doing this new interview series with Ron Holmstrom, a local guy who does. He's got a show and he's got he does these interviews usually. But he's doing something else, and I've been doing the camera work and stuff. But he can do this one. He's like, yeah, just get up there and do it. You'll be fine. So.
Right on.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? So, so how did art trick you into doing this show?
I had directed Wittenberg like 6 years ago, and we've been keeping in touch and touching base. And he just called up one day and said, "Hey, you want to come up and do The Odd Couple?" So it was a pretty obvious trick, and I fell for it. But I read the script and I loved it. I'd forgotten what a great play it is, and I was excited to get back to Perseverance actually. So.
Well, when you were doing the previous show, I mean, was that your first experience up here? Or?
Yeah, it was. Art and I had worked together on a production of Mice and Men at Sacramento Theater Company, and he had done the lights in the set, and I just thought his work was extraordinary. And we just stayed in touch from there. And I brought him Wittenberg, which I'd gone to the Harriet Lake New Play Festival at Orlando Shakes, and saw it there, and I thought it was terrific, and I knew he would love it. So I passed him a copy, and then he called me up a couple months later and said, "Hey, come up and let's do this crazy thing."
Oh, cool. Real fast. Who are you again?
I'm Mike Stevenson. I'm a freelance director. I'm a member of the B Street Theater Acting Company. Yes, and an actor.
Cool. How long have you been directing?
Oh, wow. It's a hard question for me. About 19 years, 18 years, something like that. 1997. Yeah, 18 years.
Cool. What's been your experience so far? I haven't really had a chance to talk to the directors that have done the two-city experience.
Oh, yeah, this is great.
How is that kind of working for you?
It's really fun. I've never moved a production, so it's a new experience for me. But amazingly, the two stages are real. I can't explain why, but they're really close. So this set has not changed at all in terms of the back walls and the construction, but the house is really different, and it's a proscenium as opposed to a thrust, so we've had to make some modifications to the staging. But it's been great. It's great to see the show in a new place, and Perseverance has got that steep rake in the audience, and so it's a very different experience. Here you're looking up, so it's been a lot of fun. It's been really interesting. It'll be great tonight to see with a big house what the dynamic is like.
Yeah, I always find it really interesting, the difference between how it feels being in the audience between the two places.
Oh my gosh, and in a house this size, this isn't huge, but the way it's laid out, it can take longer for a laugh to land. Like the front row will start laughing and you'll hear it actually travel, as opposed to Perseverance where everyone's kind of on top of each other, and generally it goes like that. So the actors have to adjust their playing style as well. It's really interesting. And then there's a lot more, because of the thrust, you could be much more naturalistic in terms of pointing at somebody, but now you have to find ways to cheat yourself out so we can see the facial expressions. I've been up in the balcony, it's pretty far away, and it's kind of foreshortening too. So it's really interesting. It's a different space.
Yeah. What's been your experience? I mean, with The Odd Couple. I mean, it's a classic play. This is the 50th anniversary. So I mean, did you approach it differently in that way because it is a 50-year-old play? We're doing this period and.
Yes and no. Yeah, differently because it's period, but I think the reason it survives so long is it's a great play, and so in some ways there isn't. You don't have to lay a concept on it or open it with some brand new insight. It's about real human behavior and people at the bottom, the comedy works so well because we relate to these two guys who are lonely and troubled and trying to fix themselves. And they do succeed. And I think everybody can relate. It's about marriage, it's about friendship, it's about core human values that haven't changed that much. So it's a lot more hopeful than Mad Men. So,
yeah. Do you think is there anything people might not quite realize the difference between the play and the TV show?
Yes. Well, the television show was about these guys living together, and this show is about these guys. Kind of the arc of their relationship as roommates, which is much more condensed than it is. The television show lasted for 5 years. And is very different in a lot of ways. And this is kind of the origin story, as it were. So it's The Odd Couple begins, kind of. But it's also the beginning and the end of their living together. It was based on Neil Simon's brother, actually was a bachelor in Hollywood, and a friend of his got divorced or got thrown out and moved in with him, and they lived together for a couple of years. And it was based on people that he actually knew.
Oh, cool. Anything else you want to tell people? Anything you want to lay out there, or Any
It's a lot
thoughts
of
on the
fun.
play?
It's just a terrific play. It's built so beautifully. When I first read it, I was like, oh, it's really good. And then as it got on its feet, I just realized how much real humanity is in it and pathos that underlies so the comedy works. And we got a super talented cast, a bunch of just really strong players. Boston, Christopher, and James Sullivan are playing Oscar and Felix. And then Heather LaRue and Olivia Schrum are playing the Pigeon Sisters. And we've got Jeff Hedges and Ben Brown. I don't want to miss anybody. Corin, I can't say his name because it's Swedish. He's got a hyphenated name.
I can't either, don't worry.
Okay.
It's Corin
I'm
with
sorry.
the hyphen, yeah, I know.
And then who else am I missing here? Anybody? Oh, yeah, and Enrique
yeah.
Bravo is playing Murray the cop. So it's just a
I always
super
forget
strong
Enrique.
cast. You forget Enrique all the time?
No.
Poor Enrique. Wow.
No.
Don't tell Coco.
Yeah, oh gosh, no. I love Rick, it's great. But, cool, then that's it. I just,
Great.
this will get edited and some other stuff, and we actually end up posting the whole darn interview, like, unedited as
Oh,
well.
really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's kind of it's
Can
an
you
interesting.
insert clips from like Batman in here
Yeah.
just to make it confusing?
Yeah. Well, what we do, it's kind of, I do an edited episode that lasts about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But then all the interviews that go into that episode it all gets posted on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Then the individual episodes also go up, so you kind of get that. There's the sound bites, and then if people are actually interested, if
They can
people
go further.
if people care,
Oh, that's a
they
good
can
idea.
go back and see like the entire unedited interview. So
Right on.
it's kind of an interesting concept we're working on.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time.
Absolutely.